succumb to this passive sensation, peacefully falling away. I am the zombie, your wish will command me, laugh as I fall to my knees. Can I control this empty delusion?
Pronto, papito. Pues, buena tarde, muy buenas tardes, good afternoon, bonsoir. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. A pleasure to be here with you in this 15th edition of the Medawomen Entrepreneurs Forum. As you know, we are under the umbrella of the 15th edition of the Medaweek, the ASCAME leaders from the Mediterranean, and happy to share with you all this afternoon. First of all, I would like to honorable Natàlia Mas, consellera d'Economia de la Generalitat de Catalunya, benvinguda. We are waiting for Mr. Wakil, the president of ASCAME, but he told us that he's downstairs, hoping that he will arrive as soon as possible. Queridísima Eva Borràs, directora de la Cámara de Comercio de Barcelona, members of ASCAME, apreciado señor Zibaue, coordinador de la Semana Mediterránea, women entrepreneurs, all the teams that have been working very, very hard for this session and this week, especially from the teams of ASCAME and from CEPYME. Thank you very much. As you know, this edition, the last one, we make one edition in Barcelona. This is our 15th, and the last one, it was in Alexandria. in Alexandria in the Biblioteca Alejandrina. I think it was because we celebrate our 20th anniversary, and it was very, very successful. And thank you very much, Rim, Mr. Hashim. Thank you very much for all your support there, because it was not easy to celebrate a forum there. As you can see in our program, we will have, after this welcoming session, we will have 4 panels. And there are 4 topics that always we are talking about, but in this way, we are not going to explain what are the barriers. We are trying to find the solutions. This is the way that we are going to work and to have in our conclusions. The first panel will be about women in leadership, okay, how we are improving in different countries, in different organizations, women entrepreneurs, how we are making or doing with them, and how we are improving our policies and our practices. As well, the financial challenge, as you know, is the first point that the first barrier that we have women when we not only start, but run our businesses as well. Empowering young Mediterraneans. Young Mediterraneans, our future, and for this, very, very pleased that they are integrated in our forum with their new ideas. Mr. Wakil, thank you very much for being with us. A pleasure to be with you. I was telling the audience that our 14th edition of the Medawomen was in your house in Alexandria, and especially in the Biblioteca Alexandrina. It was a pleasure that you stay with us, opening this session as well. We have our guest speakers from several countries and places around the Mediterranean: Alexandria, El Cairo, Tunis, Gabon, Izmir, Istanbul, Algiers, Slovenia, Malta, and of course Spain. Due to the Gaza crisis, our members from Jordan, Lebanon, and Palestine will follow this meeting by stream. Thank you, and thank you for your support everywhere in your countries. Thank you very much. Only one point that I would like, but this is important when we are talking, because we are talking so much about women and women entrepreneurs, women leadership, women in companies, but you have to know that our key point, and very, very far from the others, is the lack of financing. Because we can start 2, 3 women, 2, 3 men, doesn't matter how we will mix, but the problem is how we grow. And this is the problem that we have in Europe. Other countries are growing, and we are only starting. For this, we have to keep a point of lack of finance. As well, lack of experience. I think in this point we are improving a lot. We have a lot of programs from the BEI, Bank European Reconstruction, from another institutions that they are pushing a lot, especially Union for Mediterranean, and another big institutions that they are helping, and I think we are succeeding a lot in very few period of time. And the lack of contacts. When you see, you will see what are these ladies telling. What I tell you, the problem is that our networks of women, because we have our duties with our works, our families, our personal life, but for institutional and for networking, we spend very, very few minutes per week, per month, or per year. For this, I think it's important to be involved in business women organization, in this case, in several networks, clubs that you think that could be helpful, because we like to help each other. As you know, as Mediterranean culture, we like to push and to introduce, and I think this is one of our best points for growing our networkings and our businesses. And we will have the opportunity to talk about these points in our 4 sessions later. And I would like now, I will introduce our welcoming panelists. And first of all, I would like to introduce Mrs. Eva Borràs. Sorry, I follow the job. Felipe, sí. Eva Borràs, General Manager, Barcelona Chamber of Commerce. Eva, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Helena. Mrs. Natàlia, Minister of Economy and Finance of the Government of Catalonia, Mr. Hble, President of ASCAME, Mrs. Helena de Felipe, President of the Federation of Mediterranean Businesswomen Organizations. Welcome you all to the Consul's Hall of La Llotja de Mar, the institutional headquarters of the Chamber of Barcelona, where we can enjoy 7 centuries of history together with the technology that makes today's event possible. And now a special welcome to the people following us on streaming. Firstly, I'd like to thank Helena de Felipe and AFM to organize Medawomen 1 year more, the 15th edition already. An opportunity to collaborate between us, one of the things women do best, to share good practices, to do networking, because there's so much left to do. I hope you find it fruitful. The status of the female working force in the Mediterranean countries can vary significantly based on factors such as cultural, economic, and political context. A few examples. If we think on gender inequality, it has been a long-standing issue in many Mediterranean countries, impacting various aspects of women's lives, including their participation in the workforce. In terms of educational attainment, access to education for women has improved in many countries, leading to increased educational attainment among females. However, this does not always translate into equal opportunities in the workforce. There are also legal and social constraints to consider, since they can play a significant role in shaping the opportunities available to women. Some countries may have laws that either promote or hinder gender equality in the workplace. The occupational segregation is also relevant. It is a common issue that women tend to concentrate in certain types of jobs and may be underrepresented in higher paying and leadership positions. Work-life balance has its importance too. Balancing work and family responsibilities can be challenging for women due to traditional gender roles and expectations. And finally, political and cultural factors. Political and cultural factors can significantly influence the status of women in the workforce. Progressive policies and cultural shifts can contribute to improvements in gender equality. It's important to note that progress is not uniform across all countries, and there are variations in the status of the female working force within the region. Additionally, initiatives and movements advocating for gender equality and women's rights continue to shape the landscape. But this is about diversity and inclusion, not women versus men. This is a balance that contributes to better informed decision-making. At the Chamber of Commerce of Barcelona, in 2008, we felt the need to promote female talent and its inclusion in leadership and decision-making positions of companies and other organizations, leveling the gender disbalance. To achieve this challenge, the Observatory Women, Entrepreneurship and Economy, the ODEE, was founded, aiming to be a forum of reflection and a research center that analyzed in depth and brought specific proposals to enhance professional presence of women in the economic world. The ODE has won its place as a reference for the studies it's published. To name a few, you can find at its website, Pyramid of the Loss of Female Talent, presence of women in boards in the 400 biggest companies in Catalonia, cost of domestic homework and care, cost of free nursery education, kindergarten, and its effect in gender inequality, and finally, the creation of the Gender Equality Index. According to ODE data, if we now focus on Catalonia, the presence of women in management positions in Catalan private companies in 2021 was 22.8%. And this percentage of female present in positions of responsibility doubled from 2009, so no bad. However, we're still far from parity, especially if we take into account that women represent 43% of employment with university studies. The highest percentage of female executives are observed in the areas of advertising, human resources, quality, marketing, and finance, where it ranges between 29% and 39%, while the lowest are in technical, production, commercial, general management, IT, and operations, where the percentage go between 12% and 18%. In public companies, thanks to government policies and regulations, the presence of women on boards of directors is the highest, 39%. But there's a long path towards parity ahead of us and important difficulties we need to overcome as a society. For instance, The glass ceiling that hinders the promotion of women due to male business culture, excessive self-demand in women, salary negotiation, time requirements, difficulty in conciliation. The scarce presence of women in MBAs, caused by the fact that they usually coincide with parenting stage and they are often offered during weekends. The care work, children and parents continues to fall to women. And last but not least, the lack of female role models in all professions to break with vertical gender segregation. So I encourage you to make the most of today's networking opportunities and debates. I am sure we'll learn a lot from one to other. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Muchas gracias, Eva. Thank you very much. And now I would like to give the floor to our dear Mr. Hble, President of ASCAME, Chamber of Commerce from Mediterranean. Thank you very much.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Ladies, gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank Mrs. Helena and his board about the dynamic offer which I done for the Mediterranean women. The Mediterranean Women Entrepreneurs Forum has the aim of supporting women entrepreneurs in the Mediterranean region and is the largest entrepreneurial business gathering in the region. This event facilitates connection, provides innovative and is designed to accelerate the growth of women-owned business through access to information, contacts, and finance. This is suitable for anyone in any stage of business, for those just getting started to those in business for decades, and for those working individuals who want to explore their potential as entrepreneurship. There are resources and opportunities to grow and learn. Entrepreneurship is key to boosting women's economic inclusion, particularly in the Mediterranean and Africa. Inequalities affecting women in the business sector have deep roots, ranging from cultural factors to insufficient support for women-led businesses. The lack of policy framework to address the gender gap and the challenge of promoting work-family reconciliation, among others. The integration of women in the economy in the Mediterranean region remains unfinished business despite the progress made in some countries has witnessed a steady evaluation of improved gender equality reforms by encouraging women in workforce, leadership position, as well as entrepreneurship. Mediterranean women entrepreneurs today have an even more pivotal involvement towards economic and social development. But she needs better opportunities and better access to financing to help ensure a more equitable, sustainable role in business development in the region. Empowering Mediterranean young women generation as crucial tool in creating opportunities across the region to attracting future investment in the region's development and to participate actively in the economic growth of their countries and the creation of a more diverse and inclusive society. It may surprise some to learn that 1 in 3 startups in the Mediterranean region is founded or led by women. That's a higher percentage than in Silicon Valley. Women are becoming a force to be reckoned with on the startup sense across the region. We will need to promote potential mechanisms to bring together investors, regulators, and financial institutions to accelerate lending to women-led firms, as well as issues around definition of women-owned and led enterprises and harmonization of reporting. The goal is to spur collective action and challenge the regional and international financial committee to commit to tracking and growing financing to women. The empowerment and autonomy of women, as well as the improvement of their social, economic, and health status, are both important and essential for the achievement of a sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shukran, Mr. Wakil. Thank you for supporting women entrepreneurs around the Mediterranean. Thank you for your continued support. During the last 15 years, ASCAME has been helping us and giving a lot of opportunities. Now, please, we have with us la nostra honorable consellera d'Economia de la Generalitat de Catalunya, la senyora Natàlia Mas. Please, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon and welcome to Barcelona, to Catalonia, and also greetings for those connected digitally. President of the Association of the Mediterranean Chambers of Commerce and Industry, ASCAME, President of the Federation of Mediterranean Businesswomen Organizations, Director General of the Barcelona Chamber of Commerce, greetings and good afternoon to everyone. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be in front of this Mediterranean audience. And my first thank you for the organizers of this forum, the 15th Mediterranean Women Entrepreneurs Forum, and the opportunity to participate in this session. It's a pleasure to be at a conference that aims to promote, to enhance women's participation in the economy, in entrepreneurship, and in leadership positions. Because while progress has been achieved in the past years, there's indeed a long way to go. A long way to fight discrimination, stereotypes, and resistance in women's pursuit of leadership positions. And the consequences of this all, we know very well which are glass ceilings, lack of role models for young people, lack of mentoring, gender pay gap, more inflexible work environments, or lack of self-confidence. And this affects not only women, but our entire society and also our economic growth in the long term. There's broad research that women-led firms tend to have better outcomes than men-led ones. We could name several studies. There's a recent one by Pompeu Fabra University in Barcelona from Oriol Amat and Erola Palau, that concludes that Catalan enterprises with more female presence on the board have less debt and therefore lower risk of bankruptcy. I could name also another study by Harvard Business Review, a broad study analyzing almost 22,000 companies from around the world and concluding that having 30% more women on the board of directors increases profitability of firms by 15%. This is also supported by another recent study presented just last year at the House of Commons of the UK, concluding that women-led businesses are more profitable also. There could be a number of determinants of explanations to these results. I think one of them, an important one, is that women tend to have or tend to follow a more holistic assessment of the impact of the decisions. But despite all of this evidence, the proportion of women on company boards is still low. In Catalonia, women make up 24% of the seats on the boards of directors of the main listed companies. This has improved considerably since 20 years back, when it was 5–8%, but still, as mentioned, there's a long way to go to reach a reasonable balance. We are below the European average of 30% and therefore clearly insufficient, as it does not reflect the reality of women in society. In the field of politics, on the other hand, the representation of women in Catalonia, in Catalonian politics, has improved notably and actually is approaching parity. I would like to outline, for example, how at the government of Catalonia, now for the first time in history, there are more women than men ministers. And actually, myself, I'm the first woman holding the position as Minister of the Economy. At the municipal level, women account currently for 44% of municipal councillors. 30 years back, this was only 13%. Also at the parliament, at the Catalan parliament, women make up 48% of the representatives. Never before we had such a high representation of women. As mentioned, 20–30 years back, women only accounted for 5% of the chamber. Largely, this improvement in the representation of women in politics is due to the introduction of mandatory electoral parity on the list, with the aim that neither gender represents less than 40% of all candidates. The doubt is why do not follow this path, do not follow the same for businesses. In some countries, in some international organizations, minimum quotas have been established for the representation of women on company boards of directors, and I believe this is a useful tool that lowers the barriers of entry for women who may be equally or more qualified than men. We clearly need diverse leadership, teams that can bring different perspectives and approaches that can drive innovation and also a more broad decision-making. When women voices are not adequately represented, we lose out, as mentioned, on the potential for economic growth in the long term. Culturally, this underrepresentation perpetuates stereotypes and reinforces traditional gender roles. It sends, indeed, the message that women are less capable of leadership and therefore limiting choices and opportunities. At the government of Catalonia, we are committed to a feminist agenda that fights against these biases. And actually, one of the 4 axes of the government, one of the priorities is feminist transformation, with the aim to place equality policies at the center of political action in order to eradicate inequalities and discrimination. Actually, to this aim, also the Ministry for Equality and Feminism was created only a couple of years ago. And for the first time, the main mission of a ministry is to promote policies for effective equality between men and women. Secondly, I would also like to highlight the progress that we have made from an economic perspective in recent years in incorporating the gender perspective into the budget. Awareness that budgets are not neutral in their effects and that they can generate gender bias is the first step towards ensuring a more equitable distribution of resources and one that promotes also a structural change towards gender equality. Finally, I would also like to take the opportunity to make a special mention of the economist Claudia Golding, who was recently awarded the Nobel Prize in Economics. This is the third time out of 93 editions that a woman has been given the prize, the Nobel Prize in Economics, and she has been awarded it for her research on the role of women in the labor market and the causes of different gender gaps, such as lower labor participation or wage inequality. Her research shows how discrimination is culturally motivated and is not linked to performance or ability. So for all this evidence, for the sessions that you will have ahead, also let me note that in the coming years, this has been also the case in the past years, we have faced multiple challenges. This will continue, this will be our normal habitat in the coming years also. As in the Mediterranean area, I believe we have an immense potential for growth and development, but we will also face and currently face several threats. I will not mention all of them. One crucial one is climate change, climate action. So I think that initiatives as this one are very valuable to identify these challenges, these opportunities, to generate this feeling of community, of teamwork. And well, from the government of Catalonia, count on us in order to support these objectives, to support this teamwork. I think we live in one of the most beautiful areas of the world, but we need to ensure also that it has a strong economic, financial base, one that is resilient, and one that also empowers women and ensures or reduces discrimination and inequalities. So, as mentioned, count on the government of Catalonia to support you in every step of the way. Thank you very much for your work, for all the efforts. And again, welcome to Barcelona, to Catalonia, and I hope you have a very profitable stay in the coming days. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, honorable consellera. Ara, sisplau, Mr. Wakil, Mrs. Borràs, sisplau, Mr. Zibaue, come to the floor to the... Así. Now we are going to do something that it was not foreseen, but I think because there are some another sessions in another round tables out from our Medawomen, I would like that all of you, all the audience came here and we will take the family picture and later we will continue with our sessions. Okay, please, move. Thank you. Now, thank you very much for this picture, but it's impressive when you see that all together we are here. Now, we have continuing with the panel, but I would like to introduce you Dr. Hashim Hussein. He is the Director General of the ITPO UNIDO. UNIDO is an office of United Nations. And I would like that he give you some brief, concrete points that initiatives for women entrepreneurs that they are starting and they can share with us. For this, I would like to give the floor Mr. Dr. Hashim.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Helena. First, I would like to start by saying I consider Helena as a leader economic activist in what she's doing to empower women in the Mediterranean, South and North. Actually, I have a short presentation to tell you over the last 25 years, our experience in Invest in Women and Girls, which is a UN slogan, but mainly how we have been empowering women entrepreneurs, worldwide. Today, of course, I represent the Arab International Center for Entrepreneurship. This center has started within the UN 20 years back. This year, it has been augmented to the first international center for entrepreneurship under the UN, which means we have 193 countries which will be serving them with our model of activities. This is quickly the model which we have been working over the last 20 years, called Incubation Management System. This is mainly for startups, mainly when we talk about women startups, and then we have another program for sustainability and growth for women enterprises. It's mainly we start with what we call pre-incubation. It is the time when we have empowerment, which means how we can bring an idea, where this idea comes from, especially when it comes from women. Does it come from talent? Does it come from educational background? Does it come from working experience? Does it come from family experience background? Nowadays, we focus a lot on talent, which is taking us to what we call the orange economy or the creative economy. For example, last year in the ASCAME, here we had a full panel on the creative economy. The orange economy, according to the UNESCO, now is the most vibrant and growing sector, which means fashion, jewelry, food, arts, and even video gaming, which is now the new trend coming. And if you look into this kind of businesses, those are mainly, I would say, very interesting, we're being dominated by men. Most of the fashion designers, worldwide, they are men. Most of the best chefs, they are men. We should ask a question. And the clients are who? Are women, even in jewelry are changing. For example, we have Dr. Azza Fahmi, which is an international jeweler from Egypt. She's very well known. She's really a talented woman. We need to see more and more into that. So in this first area, we have to, how we can empower women to look into their ideas, their vision, their background. And we realize, and I can say from a UN data, that more than 70% of projects with talents come from women, vis-a-vis men. What was the problem? There was a problem of cultural background, and community background, and a family background that it hindered women to go into business, okay? This was in the past. But if you look into so many rural areas, you will find that women in the micro, they are the one who is developing the business. Especially if you see sub-Saharan Africa, 70% of the informal sector is run by women, but it is informal. But 70%, So we target at that stage how to ensure we can bring women into the program to provide them skills, to improve their entrepreneurial skills, to help them how to develop a business plan, because if they need to access to finance, they need a business plan, which entail market, financial, and a technical analysis. And mainly, a lot of the time, the women, they don't have that capability to do that, to do a well-defined, bankable business plan. Then another challenge or another obstacle they always face is the technology. We call it technology, but it's mainly machinery, but we call it technology. In most developing countries, they are technology seekers, they're not technology providers. So from where they get this technology? Do they get it from France? Do they get it from Spain? Do they get it from India? Do they get it from China? They don't know. And they don't know what is the value and the valuation, the quality of that technology. So we have to assist them in getting the right technology with the right quality and the right costing, of course. This is what we do. Then they are ready to access to finance because they have a bankable project. And here, when access to finance, there is a bias against women worldwide, even in the US. If a woman applies to get a credit from a bank, 20% only they manage to get the finance vis-a-vis men. 20%, huh? Why? Because it is still the banking, it is still a male-dominated job or activity. So they don't believe that they can provide, even for a mortgage loan, for a housing, they don't get that line of credit because they are women. So it is a cultural problem. But then when you see the repayment rate and the default rate, always is far more less when it comes from a woman which she got a loan. At all levels of finance, from microfinance to crowdfunding, to business angel, to venture capital, and even to classical finance, you will always realize that women default is less than men. Why? Because also we have realized that women, when they start a business, they grow faster, okay, vis-a-vis men, and those are data, those are studies, it's not just talk. They start faster, they grow faster, for different reasons. I don't have the time to explain it, but even Harvard Business School, they have done a lot of studies into that. They have even done a lot of studies on our program to empower women. They came, they did interviews, they checked their startup, how they started to be a decision-making and to be listened to from the family to the community to the national level, because economic empowerment, our belief was from the beginning, leads to what we call social and political empowerment. It's not the quota system. As you can see, even here, we have some examples from Catalonia that how women started to be, unfortunately, we still would like to see women to be chairing chambers of commerce, because worldwide this is still a big problem and a big taboo. Why? Because still the investment and the trading, still it is a male-dominating sector. But anyway, we hope more and more we see more women not only in the board of big companies, but in the board of chambers and to be chairing chambers of commerce and industry. So here we are ready at the pre-incubation level. We did the skills development. We gave the assurance, the confidence for the women that they can start their business. They got the finance, they got the technology. Then they move to incubation, because more than 60% of startup business, they die in their first 3 years, even in countries like the US, okay? Why? Because they need continuous mentoring and counseling. They need better access to finance. They need better technology provision. They need better marketing. They need better networking, you see? This is done through incubation. And the incubation could be, of course, physical incubation, or nowadays even we have accelerators, which means a shorter period of the mentoring and the counseling, or it could be virtual, that they could be anywhere, but still we provide them the right counseling and mentoring to ensure their sustainability and their growth. Then we go to the last stage of the incubation management system called post-incubation, that now they are ready to go not only in the local market, they can go even into the international market. Here there are a lot of support services, but I'm not going to provide you with more details and I don't have the time, but it could be franchising, that you can franchise their program. You can do buyers and sellers, and for example, what they can offer and what they require, especially in getting raw material, and this could be a very good program between the Mediterranean, North and South, and even Africa, where it is very rich when we talk about raw material. This is our program today. In more than 52 countries, we developed this model. Even in countries like China, India, and Turkey, they're adopting the model of the incubation management system. And today we have thousands, not hundreds, of women who have been empowered. And we have a lot of success stories of women which they started from zero and they became a woman millionaire entrepreneurs in terms of dollars. We have one case study, Mrs. Huda Janahi, which was the first lady to enter our program in 2001. She started as a housewife with a cargo company. Today, her value of assets exceeds $45 million. George Bush, in the World Economic Forum of Davos, he had a speech of 11 minutes. He talked 2 minutes about her. He said, I learned about a woman called Huda Janahi from the Kingdom of Bahrain. She started as a housewife. She had a problem with the Ministry of Commerce that they were not allowing to give her a license for, a license to get a permit to work in the port in order to release the goods and so on. Why? Because she's a woman. Because the man there in the desk, he believes, it's not because there is a rule or regulation, he believes she's a woman, she has no right to get that job because it is not nice, or it's not prestigious for a woman to stay in a line, in a queue, you know. Then she was telling him, I don't need to be in a queue, I have people, but why not I don't stay in the queue? No, for 2 years. Then we worked in the counseling, where I have shown in the mentoring, and we solved this problem. This was the first time we solved this kind of problem. This was 20 years back. So George Bush was citing how challenges and problems can face women, especially women in developing countries. But with her dedication, he said, in 2 years, she has developed a company with $2 million. And more today, as I say, in the last 17, 18 years, she has accumulation of wealth than more than $45 million. This is my last slide, because I talked about women and how we empower women. But if you don't develop and enhance the ecosystem for the stakeholders, you cannot do it. Who should be the stakeholder? This is just a summary. You start first by education from schools to universities, okay? How to ensure that you're bringing curriculums to develop innovation and entrepreneurship. We started at universities, now even we go to schools. You need to have incubators and accelerators. You know, as I said, even in the incubation, you need virtual and you need physical business incubator. You need investment promotion agencies and chambers of commerce. You need banks and financial institutions, and today we call them smart finance. From microfinance to business angels, to crowdfunding, to venture capital, you need all of this kind of finance, okay? You need entrepreneurial association, like what we have here as FAM, you know, how to work and how to help, you know, as NGOs, even as a stakeholders. And then, of course, line ministers. Then you will talk about the media, you'll talk about other agencies, but the problem, even in countries like Spain, there is no integrated program for the stakeholders. You will have a lot of agencies working, but not well well coordinated in general. This is just my quick presentation, and we will be more than happy to assist. We do a lot of online counseling and mentoring. We have a big team of counselors. We have ad hoc counselors. We have more than 4,600 counselors worldwide for youth and women. We started a very important program for innovation, and we are doing it with Shenzhen in China. You know, Shenzhen is the international city of robots and artificial intelligence. Next week, we're going to have the 6th conference for innovation, and we're going to have a dedicated panel for women. Next year, in 2024, we're organizing the World Entrepreneurs Investment Forum, and through Mrs. Helena, we'll invite all participants of FAM to be part of that. This is the only forum within the UN, and we're going to have the dedicated panel mainly for women empowerment. I stop here because I can't continue but I would like to thank very much ASCAME, and I would like to thank FAM. Already we have plan of initiatives. Next year, we hope we're going to launch what we call Global Entrepreneurs Leaders Forum, which we'll announce it here, and then we will grow on that it will be every year. And this is attribute back again to IFAMI, is moving not only to serve the region, but to serve the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hashim. Thank you. We will keep you updated how we are going on and how these programs we will be involved, all of us. And now is the floor for the first session. We have with us Berta Pérez. She's the Director General of the Chamber, the International Director of the Chamber of Commerce from Barcelona. And
thank you.
The session is yours. Thank you very much, Berta.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So good afternoon, and welcome to this session. We will be talking about women in leadership positions. I would like to ask my panelists to come please with me so that I'm not alone here. Thank you. And okay. And they are telling me we are going to have first the picture, so yeah. Okay. The group picture, so we stand up? Okay.
Sí. Ah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we will then, maybe Hannah, you could sit here maybe first, because you will be then talking, yeah. No, primero, thank you. Pero luego, bueno, da igual.
Okay.
No, because I will be sitting here, maybe, and you here, if you don't mind. Okay, yes, thank you. Now it's everything ready. Thanks. Okay, so I would like first to introduce the panelists for today. We will have first the keynote speaker. This is, her name is Ana Dorangriquia. She's the first one here. She's the program manager on gender equality at the Union for the Mediterranean Secretariat. Ana works more specifically on female entrepreneurship and women leadership. She coordinates the UFM regional policy dialogue on women empowerment, and she's in charge of the UFM monitoring exercises on gender indicators since 2020. She has also a long-lasting experience as senior expert in programming, monitoring, and evaluation in the area of economic inclusion of women and youth under the framework of the European Neighbourhood Instrument in the Euro-Mediterranean region. We also have here with us Val Diez. She's in the middle. She's the president of the Commission of Equality and Diversity at COE. That is the Spanish Confederation of Business Organizations. She's also CEO of STANPA, an association that brings together all the perfumery and cosmetics companies in Spain. And she's member also of various boards of directors and senior management committees in organizations such as COE. She is also, she told me recently, she's also its president, or maybe it's promoting, the first ISO on gender equality here in Spain, which is also a big, hopefully a big success. And she also holds a PhD in pharmacy and has headed Stampa since 2007, as well as its Foundation for Cancer Patients and the Perfume Academy Foundation. And I'm also happy to share that she has been listed by Forbes as one of the 50 most influential Spanish women. We also have Betul Seskin with us. Welcome. She's the chairwoman of Izmir Businesswomen Association. Betul was born in Izmir in Turkey, and she graduated from Izmir University of Economics, Department of Interior Architecture and Environmental Design. She's the founder of BS Architecture Studio and works there with young talented interior architects that are running projects both in Turkey and in Europe. She's also a member of several associations, such as AFM, GFED, which is the Entrepreneur Businesswoman Federation, the Izmir Chamber of Commerce, and also the Women Presidents Organization, among others. We have then our third panelist is Gemma Aubarell. The last one there is, she's currently the Director of Gender, Culture and Civil Society Department at EMED. The EMED is hosting the Euro-Mediterranean Women's Foundation, which is a unique and participative Euro-Mediterranean network aiming at empowering women in the region. Gemma has also an extensive experience in the fields of Euro-Mediterranean relations. She has been head of Program and Networks Unit at the Anna Lindh Foundation for the dialogue between cultures, and she has also coordinated the Catalan government's Mediterranean strategy, which is MedCat 2030. Then finally, last but not least, we have also with us here Marta Turk. She's the president of Slovenian Community of Women Entrepreneurs. She is an entrepreneur herself, and she founded also the first community of Slovenian women entrepreneurs. She, as one of the entrepreneurial pioneers in Slovenia, she has actively also participated in policy development for SMEs as member of various bodies representing and lobbying for small and medium enterprises. She has also been head of the Ljubljana Regional Chamber of Commerce, and she has launched many projects aimed at women entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs, projects also for developing innovation and creativity in SMEs. As I said, as president of the Slovenian Community of Women Entrepreneurs, she is also co-organizing the largest conference of women entrepreneurs in Slovenia. The name is 500 Podjetnik, which is 500 businesswomen.
Women in business.
Women in business, okay. Which will be celebrate the 10th anniversary in 2024. So now I would like to introduce also our first panelist, so that's our main speak person. But first I would like to just recap a little bit on what we have heard before. So even though there are many studies we heard before also that are showing that women-led companies are more profitable, the numbers are clear, and we are still, women are still a minority in the leadership, and the needle hasn't moved much on the last years. So, for instance, globally today, less than a third of leadership positions are held by women. Even in sectors where women are better represented in entry-level roles, such as, for instance, the hospital and healthcare industry, there are still fewer women in leadership. This may allude also to the biases that women face as they progress up in the career ladder, but there are, of course, also many other key factors that hinder women access to senior positions. To give us this overview about this situation on women in leadership positions, I would like to give now the floor to Anna Dorangrikia, who's our keynote speaker for this session. Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Marta. A pleasure to be with all these distinguished women and leaders. I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not a leader, so I'm going to talk from the perspective of the intergovernmental organization which gathered 43 member states. It is called Union for Mediterranean. I'm not going to repeat the data because I think all the previous intervenants have already mentioned it. But I want just to say that in the last couple of weeks, there are two interesting reports that have been published. One is the European Gender Equality Index, and the other one is the Global Monitoring Women Entrepreneurship. And in both of them, this is clear a message. There are improvements, so let's start from a positive perspective when we talk about women economic empowerment and when we talk about women leadership, both in politics and business. But if we compare this with the full picture and the full overview that all this data gave us, the result is that in the Mediterranean region, we will need almost 145 years to reach the gender equality. So when we talk about women leadership, in general, and more specifically in business, we should also think what does it mean in terms of overall objective of gender equality. So we cannot just, it's not sufficient to have women in leader position if behind we don't have equal pay, if we don't reach work-life balance, if we don't put in place what we call enabling conditions. Because just to refer to the intervention of the UNIDO representative before, we can have a lot of mentoring, a lot of incubation program, a lot of support for financial inclusion, but if women cannot go to attend this kind of event because simply they have not the public transport or the access to internet, if there is online, we are not there, we are not still there. Just to say that women leadership cannot be thought as a silo priority, must be part of a general effort and call for action about the gender equality. Having said this, as María Helena was saying that today we are here to talk about solutions and not challenges, because you have already mentioned a lot of them, I would like to refer to what the UFM Regional Ministerial Declaration mentioned in October 2022. When we refer to women leadership, there are 3 actions that the minister agree are the priority. First of all, if we want to advance, we have to acknowledge that the gender quota is a tool, maybe not the best one, but is needed. The data show that when you have gender quota, binding quota, the effect, the multiplier effect is a positive trend. And this is one of the reasons also behind the decision of the European Commission to adopt a new directive last year about putting a threshold of, minimum threshold, sorry, about women in board and in senior management in the listed company. But this is not enough, because we are talking about only listed company. If we refer to the huge size of small and medium enterprises, the data are still not clear and difficult to gather. Second thing, when we talk about women leadership, we are talking about female role leadership. This means that this must be visible, and this must be one element of the full education process for girls. This means that from early stage education, the message is that boys and girls should receive is about the fact that if you have similar opportunity, you don't even need to say that women are better in leadership. It's just a matter of having equal opportunity to the same objectives. This means investing in education. This means investing in vocational educational training. This thing working on putting together education, vocational education stream, and labor market and business ecosystem. And this is something that even if have been repeated several times, is not still there. And of course, third point, when we talk about women leadership, we talk also about private sector. And when we talk private sector, today, in 2023, we are talking about the twin transition, the green and the tech. But if we see the data, and we are talking about energy, climate, artificial intelligence, transport, logistics, all of them are sectors clearly dominated by men. So what can be done in order to change this situation? There are several initiatives working, for example, in inclusive digital trade. The International Trade Center in Geneva is working on specific program to improve the presence of women and women in leadership position when we talk about trade. And when we talk trade today, we talk about logistics, we talk about digital and artificial intelligence. When we talk about the green transition, we talk about energy. And energy is one of the sectors where women entrepreneurs, not even women leaders, but women entrepreneurs are still below the 12% of entrepreneurs in the sector. What the Union for Mediterranean is doing to contribute to achieve this policy commitment. We are implementing several initiatives to support women in terms of women economic empowerment. One of them is with UNIDO and is implemented in the MENA region. It has just finished after 7 years of collaboration, and the main results were presented in the Women Business Forum that took place 3 weeks ago, more or less, 1 month ago, sorry, in Tunisia, and we had the pleasure to have BusinessMed with us during the event. What was one of the main messages we got from women entrepreneurs and women leaders in the Women Business Forum? They told us, basically, we are facing so many challenges, but we don't need only, let's say, mentoring, supporting program, access to network. We need someone that will be with us from the beginning until the end in terms of ecosystem. So it's not enough just one program, just one capacity building, just one training. You should approach an integrated approach, an holistic approach. Not only, what we are going to do is take into account that we are mentioning tech and green. We are going to launch 2 new programs. One is about women in agro-food value chain, and another one is women in technology. We will have some pilot project in the area with the idea is
Thank you very much, Anna, for your presentation and introduction to the subject. Now we will move on to our roundtable. And I would like to throw a first question. I would like you also to answer from your perspective, your experiences, and also maybe to give the overview on your country experience also, because I think it's the richness also of our panel today, that we have different countries also around the Mediterranean, and maybe Gemma has more the overview of the whole Mediterranean. And the first question would be talking about strategies for empowering women in leadership. What do you think they are the main challenges, but also maybe focus on the opportunities that the women are facing in the pursuit of senior management and leadership roles in the Mediterranean? Maybe I will start with you, Val, if you don't mind. You can maybe explain what's going on here in Spain. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Berta, and thank you for the organizers for inviting me. As you've said, I am the president of the Equality and Diversity Committee in the COA, which is the National Entrepreneurs Association in Spain. And we have been working for a long time, for years, on these challenges and opportunities. It's very difficult to summarize, but considering that we have to focus on the key messages, I think that we have three key challenges and then three key opportunities. And the challenges are the cultural framework, the cultural change that is needed when we speak worldwide, because it's true that the differences in the world are very relevant. But even in Spain, we have been analyzing the cultural framework. The second challenge is that women have to work to empower ourselves and to break that, what is called the glass cellar. And we have to be sure that if we want to arrive to one place, we can arrive to that place. And it's on ourselves sometimes to be sure that we can do this. And the third challenge is the co-responsibility of the care. Because, of course, we all have professional lives, but we have also personal lives. And we want to be balanced on both. And we want to be balanced with our families, with our children, and with our parents, and those the friends. And this needs attention also. But this attention has to be shared with our partners. The fathers and the mothers have to share all the responsibilities, so we will be balanced at home and we will be balanced outside. And these are the key challenges, more or less, a lot to be said around. But the key opportunities are exactly related. The first one are the new generations, because new generations don't have doubts about this. They are expecting for us to do it, and if we don't do it, they will do it. So this is happening. We want for this to happen quick and soon, but in any case, this is happening. So we have to work hard, because we don't want to wait 100 years. The second, and I finish, is that the cultural change is here. So it has already arrived, the cultural change, the political framework, wherever. And the last one is that the positive economic impact of equality is now so clear that nobody can doubt. And we have listened some figures about it.
Thank you very much, Val. And how do you see that maybe Betül in Turkey? How is the situation? Yes.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me this great event. The challenge women face are not only a problem in the Mediterranean, all of the world problem. Traditional gender roles make it difficult for women to enter the business life. Actually, the Mediterranean is our common value. Common values are music, dance, food culture, family style, economic condition, etc. These common values bring us closer and make it easier to understand each other. In this way, our cultures are similar, and we can create big impact with small touches by solving common problems. Actually, since gender equality has not been achieved yet, women still face difficulties in both personal and business life. Although we are half of the world's population, we don't represent half of them in business life. As IZICAT, we are working hard to eliminate this inequality. We provide education scholarship to university and high school students. We produce projects by working together with universities, municipalities, private sectors, and government institutions. We provide occasional trainings to bring women into the business life under the name of Young İzdikat project. We produce projects with young women who are university students to make them successful businesswomen of the future. We are working with all of power so that women can take an active role in business and social life and have equal rights.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Yes. And now maybe, Marta, you can bring here your experience as entrepreneur, as working a lot with young and women entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the invitation, and whatever I have heard today, speaking of women and equality, it's very good to hear the improvement. For example, I've just read the new published index, AJ index, and Spain has done a lot. You are on the 4th place behind Sweden, Denmark, and so. Slovenia is now on 13th place.
Okay.
We, in the Slovenian situation, I would say that we are very good. We have very good position because the pay gap in Slovenia, speaking of women on the leadership position, is only 8%, which is very good percent. It's still a difference, but not so very high as average in Europe, which is good. Then what we have very good as a supporting system, that we have very good developed public childcare system, which helps mother to be much more also engaged in the career. We also have a paid mother leave and father leave. So for 1 year, they can share, which is also very good because in case a husband, a father takes leave, she can return back to for her career sooner. On the other hand, we older women in Slovenia are afraid that young women, because of their career, they want to run very fast, will resign from this opportunity to have 1 year paid leave, because we strongly believe it's a big investment in the future generation. If a mother can stay for 1 year with a child, that means a big investment for next 70 years, not only 1 or 2 years. So I think it's very important when women already have achieved rights to fight to have their rights, not to lose them. And there are many countries in EU who lost many of the rights, and there are some tendencies, depending on the political decisions in government, that they are pushing the rights back. So it's not so very colorful and so not so very nice, the situation in all parts of Europe. We are speaking of Mediterranean, and Slovenia is a very small country on the north, but we are still a part of this. So first, congratulations. Second, what we do, and what is, I think, very important, we have heard, is to have a strong association of women who are pushing it, who are doing it without the governmental influence, but they have to push and press the government to change and to start with strategies. So we are for quota. We are for organizing association of women entrepreneurs and women managers, and that is one of the, let's say, formulas for success.
Okay, thank you. So this network of support of women is really very important. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And
so thanks to María, Helena, you have really a strong woman here.
Yes, I was pushing that also. Yes. Yeah. So, well, lastly, also I would like to hear about Gemma. Also, what was your view about women entrepreneur and also women in leadership positions in the Mediterranean region? Yes.
Well, profiting that I'm not entrepreneurs, and like Anna, we are a little bit observing and actively involved in what is the rights and women and the studies about this. I want to do a kind of reflection, no? Starting by opportunities, and then launching some question marks or challenges, no? Let's do the opposite, no? But the first thing, in line of what has been discussed previously, I think we need to place Euro-Mediterranean realities in the global challenge that is leadership in this kind of thing. Sometimes we try, the ones that we are working in this fantastic region, to see our problems as the problems, unique problems, and the southern shore of the Mediterranean as the mother of all the problems, let me say. And no, this is a globalization moment, and so we share a lot of common challenge, and you say just now, some achievements can be reversed automatically.
Yeah.
So this is why Euromed cooperation is useful for reinverse all these, let me say, dualistic or parallel reality. So for reflection, let's do an opportunity to this global or common challenge that we have all in the Euro-Mediterranean regions, and let's believe on this. Like this, we can perhaps start a cooperation or a partnership in a real basics, no? And thanks to the youth and all this that with Anna, we organized this nice event. This, as you say very well, is done. The youth is there. So don't deceive and let's try to do this. Well, this is a final. First opportunity is what the ministers say, the education. But we know that even if we are very well educated, we don't have the opportunities at the same time, no? So one of the questions that is really interesting as a challenge is how to do this integral approach of trainings, mentorships inside the enterprises and business that can teach or they can be useful for leadership. Because it's not the same, and you know better than me for sure, it's not the same managerial positions that to be in a board of directors in an enterprise. And this is the challenge. We need to be there taking decisions, strategic decisions. Because, I don't know, in Jordan they were telling to us in a seminar 2 weeks ago, there are a lot of managerial posts in pharmaceutical or in health enterprises. But who arrive in the board of directors to take the strategic? So this training, mentorship about negotiation, about the strategic decision making is really important. Another priority of the minister is also the responsibility of the organizations. So we see here a challenge that is, and I think it has been said also by the Catalan minister and here also by Anna, is the differences between small, medium enterprises and big enterprises. The big enterprises already know that this equal and to integrate women in the management and leadership positions provides them a good image and a good position in the market. But what about the small and medium enterprises? It's only a cost, and sometimes it's difficult. This is another issue. And of course, the responsibility of women by itself. We talk about role models, but we need to invest in ourselves in leading positions, and we need to work and to advocate. This is why all this question of associations, but also starting by each one. Another priority, quotas. Just stop a moment on this. Because quotas, as Anna recalled very well, there is this law in Europe that force all the countries, till we have till 2026, no? To regulate our normative to this. But we know already that there are countries like France or Norway with a good rate, because these hard regulations, 40% of the board of directors, but also other countries like Germany, if this is someone from this country, that it's not achieving 30% even with hard regulation. So hard regulations is not enough, we know. For incentivate, it's okay. But it's a transitory measure, necessary but not enough. What about light regulation, soft regulation, the one encouraging, promoting something? So this is a question, but it's something that it's already. Let me tell you, coming from an institute devoted to Euro-Mediterranean affairs, all this question of culture. It's, and I think Anna also refers a little bit of this. Oh no, we know that we have this traditional background in the Mediterranean, in that some of you are from southern countries of the region and Arab countries. But is this exactly the question? Or if the question is to provide a structural and really inclusive legislation that help the woman to have and to achieve these positions It's not a question, every one of the women and the examples you put about very brave leaders in Barheim and everywhere. This is not a question only, if I may say. It's a question of structural and context, political mainly, and socioeconomical. So take care with this. We need to take care about this sociocultural whatever, because culture is flexible and can be very much easy adaptably to whatever is for the best. I stop here.
Thank you very much, Gemma. They were telling me we had like 5 more minutes, so if someone of you want to react to something that was said, if not, maybe you want to add something or a good practice, no? If not, I would try to conclude. I'm sorry that we didn't have much time, but it was really a bit of constraint of time. So, well, I would just want to briefly recap on what we have said a little bit. So, there's still a need to encourage greater parity in management and executive positions. We were talking about quotas, that quotas are needed, and also they have a multiplier effect, so a positive effect. Also, that women should be more present in decision-making positions in companies. So sometimes when a woman is promoted, is more seen as an implementer than a strategist. So we need to change this. No? Gemma was also telling that we need more women in decision-making positions in companies. And well, it's also in our hands. We were saying, no, it's in our hands. It's on the future also of our children, the women of tomorrow, I would say. So both now, men and women, we have the challenge to unlearn some gender stereotypes that we were being educated with. No, we need to unlearn them, and also incorporate the female vision at work and how we make sure the organizations take full advantage of this female vision in the day-to-day. So thank you very much for your being here today, for your contributions. They were very interesting, so thank you. And thank you, the audience also.
اللي فيه معناتها النائبة متاع الرئيسة معايا تنجم تعطيك الكلمة في عطل أخرى. مش فاهمة عليك. إذا حبيتي فيه معناتها في الصالة النائبة متاع الرئيسة متاع المجلس اللي أنا نرقصه.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Helena, President of ASCAME, and thank you for inviting me to be the moderator today. Thank you so much. November is an entrepreneurship month. This week, 13 to 20 November, marks the celebration of Global Entrepreneurship Week. Thousands of events occurred over the span of 1 week to inspire people around the world, and today, ASCAME, in partnership with ASCAME, organized one of these events, the 15th edition of Medawomen, to highlight institutions and programs in the Mediterranean region that have developed innovative solutions to help women entrepreneurs overcome financing, marketing, and policy barriers to grow their businesses. So our evening continues with a high-powered Medawomen Entrepreneurs panel session and conversation around innovation solutions to help women entrepreneurs overcome barriers. Let us welcome our speakers. Ms. Taqwa Mourabet, Fundraising Director, BusinessMed Tunisia. Ms. Karima Bourgol, President of Association des Femmes en Économie Verte, Women in Green Economy, Algeria. I think you are the one?
No,
okay.
I'm not.
I think she didn't come, yes. Yeah, she didn't come. She apologized. Ms. Sila Gok, Vice President of the Women Entrepreneurs Association of Turkey, Kagidar. Ms. Rachida Jamnoun, President of Conseil International des Femmes Entrepreneurs, CIF, Tunisia. And let us start with our keynote speaker, Ms. Taqwa Mourabet. I want to ask you, what specific innovative solutions have institutions and programs in the Mediterranean region developed to support women entrepreneurs in overcoming financing, market, and policy barriers? Please, quickly.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of the event for the kind invitation. I'm here on behalf of BusinessMed, which, for the ones who doesn't know it, it's an NGO based in Tunis. Yet we are a regional organization that represents 25 confederations of enterprises from Europe and from the southern Mediterranean neighborhood. So we are basically representing the main representative of the private sector in the Euro-Mediterranean region. So back to your question, Rib. I would like to just highlight one tool that was genuinely thought by our members since 2007, and then we successfully developed it under a digital tool, which is the Business Country Desk platform that replies somehow to that tackles somehow the access to finance, access to network, access to knowledge barriers for women entrepreneurs, among others. So the Business Country Desk tackles like the barrier for the access to information, access to market, because it provides a directory of 10 South Mediterranean countries' outlook, highlighting trade, trade incentives, investment incentives, the supporting agencies for trade and investment in South Mediterranean countries. It highlights also the rules of origin, etc. Now, for the access to network, we do have the possibility, we do provide the possibility to get in touch with financial institutions that are represented on our digital platform. We also offer you the opportunity to interact with companies, SMEs, startups that have comparative experience. And also for the access to knowledge, we do develop also an e-learning module, the BCG e-learning module, in order to get access to online courses on projects development and funding opportunities. We do also have another service that we provide is the matchmaking tool, which confers the possibility to facilitate B2B meetings in a networking event. Now we got the chance to use this tool for our regional gatherings, like the Med Business Days led by BusinessMed for 22 in Malta and 23 in Cairo. We hosted over than 120 participants in these events. Also, many partners did trust our tool, like the UNIDO for the facilitation of their trade and investment forum in Amman in May this year, and also the UNIDO and UFM for their Women Business Forum. So basically, to sum up, our tool intends to enhance and to provide an enabling environment for business ecosystem broadly, and for women entrepreneurs especially, because we introduced somehow a tag called women-led businesses, like organizations or companies that are subscribed to our platform, so that it will enhance their visibility vis-a-vis the other companies. So I would like to just conclude with a call for participation to an upcoming event, the Arab SME Summit, that will be hosted by UNESCOA on December 12th to 14th. It will gather more than 1,000 SMEs from 22 Arab countries, and the registration are also available on the BCD platform. We expect to have more than 3,000 B2B meetings to be done on our business country desk platform. So I would like also to ask you to register to the BCD platform. It's generally for free. Free registration, and then so that you can have access to and grasp all the opportunities that are available in there. Thank you very much. I hope that I didn't exceed my time. Thanks a lot, and best regards. Thank you.
Thank you, Takwa. The purpose of today's panel is to dig a little deeper into challenges faced by women entrepreneurs, collaboration, cooperation, and sustainability growth. So let me hear from our panelists today about how do these institutions and programs collaborate with women entrepreneurs, governmental bodies, and other stakeholders to implement and promote this solution effectively, and how this solution contribute to the long-term sustainable growth of women-led business in the Mediterranean region. Okay, who will start? Okay.
First of all, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you. Is it working? No? Yeah. Oops. Okay. It's a very honor to be here, and this event is getting very, very powerful global event for the women. So it's very. I want to thank you as a Kagidar to you. I am the vice president of the Kagidar. So many knows about Kagidar, but the Kagidar is the biggest women business association in Turkey. I am the vice president, but also I am the entrepreneur woman for years. So I am very important for me to here today focusing on the vital topic that supporting women entrepreneurs in the Mediterranean region. So it is very valuable for the women entrepreneurs. As most of the speakers pointed out, globally, women often face lots of barriers, especially in finding financing. Taking their first step to exist, it is very hard for the women as an entrepreneurs in their work environment. Kagidar has been working on solutions aimed at supporting women entrepreneurs in overcoming financing and market and policy barriers to grow their businesses for the last 21 years. I would like to answer your question with an example of collaboration and cooperation on a program that's also aligned with our panel discussion. We were listening to the Bahrain project, so I was very happy to hear these kinds of programs and the new projects, because it's very valuable. It's all around the world about women entrepreneurs. Do you know that women-owned businesses constitute 35% of all businesses globally, but it's estimated that they receive only 1% of the procurement spent by large corporations and the governments. Public and private procurement generates trillions of dollars in economic activity across the globe. This situation led Kagidar us to the critical issue of women inclusion in public and private procurements. And our program addressed directly
this issue. Supporting women entrepreneurs and creating change require an holistic approach and a multi-stakeholders dialogue. It requires the engagement of civil society, public and private sectors, as well as women entrepreneurs and also international organizations. And to start, change and advocacy needed a real participatory mechanism. And to understand the profile and the expectations of women entrepreneurs, for that we organize regional consultation meetings with women business owners and regional civil society organizations. We created the communication strategy and roadmap with external expertise. A communication strategy is needed to create public awareness, which is as important as direct lobbying. Media is also very important for us. Also, collaboration for change needs hearing the public authorities and understanding current legislations. To see what can be done, development and model required active participation of all experts around the topic, such as trade law, public procurement, law, gender equality, employability, labor market, and finance. So we organized search conferences with public authorities and experts. As a result of intensive meetings, we have drafted law proposal on public procurement with the support of legal experts. We created a model for private sector in cooperation with UN Women. Also, we have created the local model for municipalities to supply from women. To finalize, I would like to once again underline importance of partnership of public-private, CSO, academia, and international organizations to move forward for a common purpose. Different parties have different powers, and with the collaboration of different powers, solution can be implemented. Otherwise, the system doesn't work. It was very nice to hear ideas here because we can catch lots of different ways to reach to the same aim and the goal. So I am very thankful again to be here and listen all of you.
Thank you, Sefa. Thank you. Rachida, same question.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Je ne sais pas si ça marche.
Bonsoir.
Oui, hein?
Oui.
Ça marche. D'abord, je voudrais remercier Madame Helena de nous accueillir à chaque fois, de rassembler la femme méditerranéenne. C'est le 3e rendez-vous. Le premier était en Jordanie en 2018 et vous étiez là, Madame Rim. J'ai l'impression que le temps n'a pas bougé, hein, quand je vous vois aussi belle, aussi jeune. Hein. Pour moi, le temps n'a pas bougé. Et les CIFOises, elles ont été aussi présentes en 2019 à Barcelone. Et là, le 3e rendez-vous, et je m'en vois féliciter de le partager avec vous. Alors, j'étais impressionnée par le nombre que Madame la ministre, elle vient de donner, en disant de 5% la Catalogne, je ne fais jamais une bonne distinction entre l'Espagne et Catalogne. Mais ce qui est très impressionnant, c'est le chiffre de 5%. Ils sont passés à 40%. Les femmes dans les postes de décision et dans les postes politiques. C'est un modèle à dupliquer sur toute la Méditerranée si un jour on pourrait arriver à ça. Alors, je peux parler un peu de la Tunisie et des CIFOises qui sont là. Nous sommes un pays qui a connu pas mal d'handicaps, pas mal de problèmes, mais on est persévérant, on est là. On continue. On est dans un pays où la femme, elle est complémentaire de l'homme, et c'est ce qu'on veut toujours employer, mais on a des hommes qui nous respectent, des hommes qui ne nous insultent pas et qui ne sont pas arrogants avec nous. Ça, c'est une petite parenthèse que j'ai voulu ouvrir. Au CIF, le Conseil international des femmes entrepreneurs, on est alors une ONG à but non lucratif et apolitique, mais on s'est mis à l'excellence dans l'entrepreneuriat féminin. On est alors surtout le territoire de la Tunisie, mais surtout à l'international. Et c'est comme ça que nous sommes dans le vif du sujet de braver les barrières. Ces barrières, on est en train de les faire par le réseautage, et c'est un alors, exemple assez concret qu'on soit là, qu'on veut toujours aller au-delà de ce qu'on a, qu'on veut partager, découvrir, apprendre les uns des autres. Alors, échanger les expériences, c'était très enrichissant ce que vous avez dit tout à l'heure. Là, je vous découvre ici. J'aurais dû vous découvrir en Tunisie. Voilà, justement, je la découvre ici. Et le CIF, on est très vocalisé sur le digital par le biais des jeunes CIFoises. Ce sont nos outils de braver les barrières. Et j'appelle les CIFoises ici présentes dans cette salle de se lever, s'il vous plaît, ou de venir ici, devant moi. Venez, venez les CIFoises. C'est un cas concret pour vous dire qu'on brave les obstacles. Elles sont toutes des avocates, des ingénieurs, des femmes chefs d'entreprise. Elles sont venues de toute la Tunisie. Elles ont laissé le bureau, le travail. Elle est médecin, elle est avocate. Toutes elles sont là pour échanger l'expérience, y compris l'Italie. L'Italie, elle a toujours été là aussi. En Jordanie, elle était là, et au jour d'aujourd'hui, elle était là. On a aussi une autre expérience qui est Salama Dialogue. Elle aussi, elle est CIFoise, et c'est un autre concept de dialoguer et d'être CIFoise autrement. Et je te fasse, venez. Donc, c'est notre richesse, c'est notre façon de braver les barrières, de dire qu'on est là, on veut apprendre, on vous tend la main, et on s'échange dans ce beau réseautage méditerranéen. Merci, mesdames. Voilà mon intervention.
Bravo.
Donc, il me semble que je n'ai rien à rajouter. Merci, Madame Ri.
Merci à vous.
Madame. Merci pour ce partage. Ça y est? Non, on n'a pas fini? Très bien, je reviens.
Marta, we have time or we finish? No, okay. So thank you.
Thank you. Alors voilà, on s'est déjà serré une main, on s'est déjà serré la main, et au plaisir de vous revoir une autre fois. Merci, Madame Helena. Merci. Merci, Rim.
So, thank you.
La photo, on l'a déjà prise. Merci, ma fille. Merci.
Come to the stage, Rim Ayadi, de la Tunisie. Van a poner el... Okay, Doris, Samut, please. Nohas Shaker, Neja Garbi, and María Lago. ¿Qué foto? ¿Picture de qué? Vale. No será conmigo también.